Whatever happened to Short Round? Okay, so I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Raiders of the Lost Ark is easily in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. After Dial of Destiny, it seems like the franchise is basically dead as far as live-action movies go. Lucasfilm and Disney have had some success with the video game market, and maybe there's a chance to expand Indiana Jones into animation or something like that. But as far as live-action films, Harrison Ford, octogenarian star of the series, has made it very clear that he's not going to return to the role again, and producer Frank Marshall has said in interviews that there's no intention of ever recasting the part. So, with that being said, what could the future of Indiana Jones look like in movies? I would propose that it's high time we found out what happened to Short Round. So Short Round, of course, was Indiana Jones' little sidekick in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Short Round was a little thief that Indy had caught and kind of taken under his wing, and they developed this kind of father-son bond. And then after Temple of Doom, we never see Short Round again, we never hear of Short Round again, that's it. Which is especially troubling when you remember that even though Temple of Doom is the second film in the franchise, it's the first one chronologically. It takes place a year before Raiders of the Lost Ark. So what happened to Short Round? Did Indy just dump him in an orphanage somewhere? Was he traumatized by what happened in India, in the Temple of Doom? We don't know. Dial of Destiny saw the return of fan-favorite characters like Sala and Marion, but Short Round was nowhere to be seen. So Ke Huy Quan was the actor that played Short Round back in Temple of Doom, and that was his big breakout role. He also played Data in The Goonies and was marvelous. And over the years, he realized that there weren't a lot of great roles for actors of Asian descent in Hollywood movies, so he stepped away from acting and started focusing more on stunt work and stuff like that. Over the decades, that situation has changed, and Quan has been finding more and more roles, and ever since his Oscar-winning return in Everything Everywhere All at Once, he's been in a series of roles that really haven't lived up to his talent and potential as a star. I really like Quan. He's an entertaining performer, he's very charismatic and very likable, and it's high time he had a starring role that really showcased him in a way that he deserves. This is where a Short Round movie would be perfect. He could continue the franchise, we could finally find out what Short Round's been up to. He's grown up now, maybe he's having his own adventures, Quan's skill with martial arts could bring a slightly new flavor to the franchise, but we could still have him going on these kind of globe-trotting adventures, often with supernatural elements, stuff that he learned from his mentor Indiana Jones way back in the 1930s. This could also be a chance to rectify some of the controversies around Short Round. People have suggested over the decades that he's kind of a stereotype character. This could be a chance to maybe add a little more complexity to him. And it would showcase Quan's immense likability as a leading man, unlike some of the other projects he's been doing since Everything Everywhere All at Once that have been disappointing, let's say. So, Disney, Lucasfilm, if you want to continue the Indiana Jones brand without Indiana Jones, without Harrison Ford, give us a Short Round movie. I would totally watch that movie. And Quan wants to do it. Make it happen.